Hello everyone, this is eien86, here 7 Races with me.
Hi.
Today we're going to be discussing our tool-assisted speedrun for the classic Prince of Persia 1. This TAS took around 2 years to make, not continuous, but from time to time we've been improving it. Hey everyone in chat. And if you want to see the fully contiguous playback of this video, you can find it in tasvideos.org. What I would like to do today is a more fully explained version of this, which may mean that we pause a little bit and explain what's happening, because sometimes it gets too crazy, and do some kind of frame analysis. But what I like the most to happen is that both in chat and here in the audience there's questions and there's people interrupting and asking what the hell happened there, and that will be more fun than just showing you the 12-minute video. So a little bit more of context here. We used a bot to make this task. The solution was made in segments, so each level, there's 15 levels more or less in Prince of Persia 1. What we did is run each level separately, and even within each level there's several segments that are RNG independent from each other, and we found the best RNG for each segment. But after that we had to stitch together a full run, which required a super perfect RNG from the beginning. And we tried 16 million combinations before we found the right one. There was around 3 perfect combinations out of 4 billion. And we also needed to play around a little bit with the copyright level, which is not typically played in the speedruns. But we had to exploit this special level for us to find the correct RNG for the rest of the game. And that's what you're going to see. So that's going to be the most shocking part, because there's so much time lost in RTA, but doesn't come for IGT. All right, shall we begin? 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, I won't even launch the timer, honestly. Like, it's okay. This is a showcase.
All right, so here you're seeing, let's pause a little bit and appreciate a little bit of history. You don't see this often. So this is the boot screen for one of the old PCs. Actually, this was pretty modern for the game. This is 1999, and the game was out in 1990. So this PC, this simulated PC, is 9 years older than the game itself, but it's good enough to play it without any delays. So we emulate from the boot on, right? It takes time to load the operating system.
Yeah. So that's also like TAS video rules. Like basically, like you start from console boot. Usually here it's PC, so you start from PC boot.
Exactly. So something else we do here is manipulate the time of the system. So currently in the emulation, we start at the 0 time in machine code, which is 1970 at 12 a.m. And what we like to do is to set up the timer and the date to a specific time. In this case, 3:06:31 and 50 milliseconds PM. So this is being played we're almost there. It's 2 p.m. here in Switzerland.
Yeah.
Anyway, coincidence. 3 p.m. This specific time to the millisecond is required for us to start with a good RNG for the copyright potion, and also for the first 2 levels, and then to manipulate the rest of the game.
Only the time of the day under the RNG. Like it's not due. Like if I'm playing on Sunday or on Saturday, it does not make a difference.
No, exactly. It's time within the day. So that restricted the options, because we could choose, if we had 30 years to choose from, that would give us more options. But it's only the time within 1 day, so that limits a lot of the possibilities here.
And is it done to the millisecond?
Depending on the emulation.
Okay.
Depending on the emulation. I think it's down to the very CPU clock.
Okay.
But the emulator advances in 30 milliseconds at a time or less, and that granularity is what determines the RNG here. So then we start the game properly. It loads. We skip the start screen. We jump straight into the level 1. This level 1 has been proven to be optimal. This solution here, every single frame is exploited. This start, we optimized as much as possible. We skip the guard here, normal stuff, open the door, and then we exit level 1. There's no way to improve on this. This is proven by brute force. That's all we know. Then this is the copyright level. Here we have manipulated the RNG for the first potion to be the one. This is not absolutely necessary, because what we need to do here in this level is actually lose time. The real time, the clock time is running here, but the internal game time is not running, so we are not losing effectively any time in terms of what we aim for. And what we aim for, and I forgot to mention, is sub 12 minutes. So the creator of the game, Jordan Mechner, defined that to solve this game you have 60 minutes, which is more than generous. But we have always wondered, or at least for the last 2 years, have always wondered that whether we can solve this in less than 12 minutes. And this task does that, and by a spectacular small margin, which is 3 frames. And this manipulation is part of it. So you will see the rest of this level as the door opens. We just don't enter, we just mess around. Go here, take another potion. Get hit by it.
Damage.
Yes. Just run around, and we are manipulating RNG so that it favors us for the next set of the levels.
What advances the RNG?
What affects RNG?
Yeah.
So let's go 3 seconds back. So you see here there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 elements that are affecting RNG. That is the 2 torches and the 4 potions. The 4 potions affect RNG when you enter the room and not anymore. So it's 4 movements of the RNG at the beginning, but the torches are continuously modifying the RNG. So each frame we are moving the RNG by two movements, and we are waiting on that for giving us the perfect frame. Also here in the cutscene, we don't skip the cutscene because here you will see there are 2 torches, right? And there are also stars in the window. And each star twinkles with a random timer. Therefore, everything here is helping us, but we have to interrupt the cutscene at a specific point. And we have to wait a few seconds, and then we actually interrupted it. And we are in a good set for a perfect level 2. Here we skip the guard. This is normal stuff.
Fun fact, even in RTA we can manipulate level 2 now.
Ah, really?
Yeah, we can.
So in this screen there's nothing modifying the RNG. So we could take some more time here, but of course IGT is running, so we don't wait for it. But here's no RNG modification. Here the guard is also modifying RNG because his decision making is also moving the RNG counter internally. This is pretty normal stuff. Perfect guard skip. So the less interaction, the faster it goes. He's also, the RNG is moving.
Just to answer to someone in chat, he did not go through spikes actually. Like what he did was glitchless, like no major glitches at least, like here as well. So it just thanks to the position of the print, you can basically like jump through spikes or slow down a little bit. Like when you slow down, you do not get hit by the spikes.
The rest of the level goes pretty normal. So even if you think this turning around back and forth is a lost time, now that's the most optimal way to solve this part, and then we go up. So here's level 3. This is the least broken level of all. I assure you things are going to get spicier as we approach 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is just parkour. I basically jumped around this first part. But at some point I'm going to stop the playback and advance frame by frame because there's the checkpoint exploit here. This is the only level that has a checkpoint, that if you lose after that checkpoint you restart to the middle of the level and you don't have to do all the parkour again. We always wonder why other levels that are even larger and more annoying don't have also checkpoints. Level 9 would be amazing to have one. So here, this is the point where we skip, where we activate the checkpoint. And what we're going to do, if we go frame by frame here, it's going to take a few frames to advance because the computer itself takes some time to load the rest of the level. Once the door pushes us forward, we're going to advance to the next room, and that's going to be the trigger for the checkpoint. As the checkpoint is triggered, we restart the level. So here we entered, and then we restart the level. And instead of starting from the beginning, we start from the checkpoint point, which is a little bit forward, but we need to turn around, and this makes us lose a lot of some time. So in the end, the time won by restarting is 2 frames. but it's good enough, right? Here, skeleton waits for us. A little bit more of bouncing against walls and manipulating gravity to advance this part a bit faster, but it's an annoying part for RTA runners and TAS.
Oh yeah.
It's a bunch of frame perfect turns that don't save much time, but if you miss them, you turn around and it's messy. Here, what's important in this fight is that the skeleton hits us actually, and the RNG was manipulated, so his decision to hit us happens at the very first frame that it can happen. So that's important manipulation here in this level. Then again, another cutscene here, and here you can see we stopped the cutscene earlier, but not at the very beginning. Therefore, we manipulated the RNG for the rest levels, for this level 1 here, 4 here.
Here we knock on the door to say hello, I'm here.
Yes, and he advances towards us, opens the door for us, lets us keep him. So pretty much an optimal solution of this level. Later on, if we have time, I'm going to show us an alternative way to solve this level, which was a huge discovery. Doesn't save any time, but it's I think it's my second most watched video in my YouTube channel, and it breaks the lore of the game basically.
To be fair, I'm at least responsible for half of the view.
So activate the shadow, go back, skip the guard again, and level 4 is done.
Level 5.
So not many surprises in level 5, just skipping guards as usual. Actually, it's a bit of a shame because it would have been nice to find new things in level 5, but this is pretty much the normal RTA solution, just skip this door. What happens here, if we can show it again, we are advancing backwards, so going backwards with the sword drawn. What happens is that as long as we are fighting a guard and with the sword drawn, and if he has passed the half of the screen, we can keep advancing backwards without opposition. So the game is not calculating whether we found a gate or not. So we will go through the gate, although gates don't exist, as we all know, and we will find ourselves hitting well, technically it's not that, but we will hit the wall. That will trigger the detection of us in the other room after we have passed the door, and this skips half the level, like a third of the level basically. So we use the guard there to manipulate the physics of the game and then skip that part. Yeah, so Larep says 2 frames is more of the half the sub 12 margin. Actually, yes, it's 3 frames. So actually it could be technically we can go to 4 or 5, but that will require some crazy stuff, some supercomputer that I don't have basically. So this solution of level 6, for you that are familiar or the speedrunners, is unorthodox, because normally you just go through the guard and then wait until the door opens and then go through, duck through the door. Here what we're going to do is happens only in 1 to 600 possibilities of RNG, so don't try this at home. Well, Esteban proved that you can do it in RTA, but basically what we're going to do here is manipulate the guard so that he follows us backwards, right? And then he goes backwards so much that he doesn't hit us and we can just run across, right? So level 7, the infamous level 7, here this will take some time. We will watch it first and then explain what the hell is going on, because it may be too much for someone that watches, that knows the game but watches it for the first time. So we lure the guard here to the jumper. So he's dancing with us, moonwalking. We go through the screen. He starts to fall, but we don't let him die. We come back, he falls again. We use him to push us, to soften our fall and push us to the door. And that's it. So a little bit of explanation here is in order, because that's crazy enough. When you are in this position, in this exact position, you sheath the sword and then you draw it again. The guard will want to advance towards you, so he doesn't compute that he's close to you to hit you. So he wants to advance and and switch around with you. So he wants to be in the right. But as you sheath the sword, or as you draw the sword, you will be in the same situation as him. So the game doesn't compute who has to go left or right. So you both end in the same side. And now the guard wants to go backwards because he's too close to you, so he wants to repel you, but we're going to follow him, basically. We are following the guard at the same speed. So the movement of characters is the same speed, so he never can get rid of us. But we do all of this in a rhythm that makes us skip the jumper without getting killed. So we could both get killed here, but we do it exactly at the same point that we can pass together, just enough, fast enough to escape it. So remember what I said, that you can skip going backwards through the screen, outside the screen, without the screen changing. That allows us to keep pushing the guard even further. And at this point, we decide to sheath the sword. So he wants to get far away from us. He keeps going backwards until he pushes. He first attacks, so he breaks gravity. When he comes back, he activates the loose tile with one pixel, and that triggers him falling. The problem is, if he falls from this distance, he's going to die. And if he dies, there's no skip, because when he falls to the ground, he will activate the closing door mechanism, and that's a problem, and he will die. We need him to be alive when he comes down. And to do this, we have to exit the screen just in time so that he doesn't die. We actually will hear him dying. That was his death, but that was technically his death. We come back as fast as possible, and now he takes back from the place he was before. We exited the door, and he's falling 2 levels now, which doesn't kill him, or actually 1 level. Yes, and we fall exactly in the same pixel that we activate another glitch, which is the push glitch. So we don't take damage because he's pushing us before we take the damage, right? So he pushes us forward, which is convenient. Then he hits us, that's inevitable. We sheath the sword, and that triggers the guard from pushing us again, and this time through the door, and then we can escape. So that's the whole it's a combination of 6 or 7 glitches. That took some time to develop.
But one of the holy grail of the any percent run. It's pretty insane.
Yes. Well, there's another holy grail, but we don't talk about that. Another cutscene. This time we have to wait quite a bunch of seconds in this cutscene. So for each second, there's 12 frames. So we have, if this was 6 or 7 seconds, it was around 80 frames that we waited for a good RNG to come back to us for level 8. So the mouse is back. We will see him again in action. This time we go up, face the first guard. We will help us skip the whole level, basically. So we have to lure him toward us. And then you will see this is a situation that is helpless. We are about to fall, and we're going to face the guard. But we need him to go down and to the right. So we have to somehow push him so he falls. We go to the right, he follows us, and then we lure him again. And now you can imagine what's going to happen. It's pretty easy. We need him to push us through the wall, through the floor to the end of the level. And now we are in the last part.
I have a question. Can you go back to the script?
Yes.
Okay.
This part.
So yeah, here like we see you jumping.
Ah, yes.
Like here. Is it just to move forward a little bit so that you are in a good position with the guard?
Yes.
Okay. And also, is this skip dependent on the pattern of the guard? So that means like depending on, like you have to manipulate it like through RNG basically?
Yes. All is necessary. It's not so easy to pull on RTA, but people do it. And basically you have to adapt to the several alternatives that the movement that the guard can do. So sometimes he wants to attack, sometimes to walk forward. And people here like Esteban, you know, then the usual suspects know what to do in each instance. So they follow a pattern and they activate the glitch in different ways. Yes, it's a flow chart. You take decisions based on what he's doing, and basically the effect is the same, except that here is the most optimal solution because we are looking left and also advanced most to the left as possible. As much as we can to activate the door, right? With the least movement.
But now you're trapped.
And we lost basically. So the good thing here is that the mouse is back. Before, the previous solution involved a strategy that was so fast that you can skip the mouse, and that was kind of sad. But now he's back in full glory, both in the cutscenes, in both cutscenes, and in the game. So
Right.
more RNG manipulation here. You can see I developed a tool to calculate exactly how many frames you have to skip, and it took several days of running this tool in a server in a high performance server, and 16 million. So the bot solved the game 16 million times until it found the correct RNG and the correct frames.
Did you just go through like all the possibilities sequentially, or do you like throw dice, Monte Carlo, like?
Yes, both were possible alternatives. So Monte Carlo style is you try the same solution with different RNGs and hope for the best. I combined a little bit of Monte Carlo with the sequential, which is I created a tree of exploration tree.
Yeah.
So I tried all combinations for the first level and took the ones that worked, and then from that set of combination I tried for one of them. So the first few levels go super fast, but once you get to the last levels,
Right.
you have all these trees. It takes some time. So the game is just long enough. So 15 levels that I could make it in a few days. If it was 20 levels, I don't think we will be talking today. So level 9 continues.
No problem.
No problem whatsoever.
How did you store the data that you got from the bot?
All in memory.
Okay.
Yes, I had 256 gigabytes of memory that I could play with, and yes, that was barely enough. But that worked. I guess the biggest problem was to understand how the RNG moved with the real time. You know what? We manipulated the clock at the beginning. That logic wasn't so evident. There is a logic to it, but the emulator had this weird. So each frame you advanced didn't advance exactly the same number of milliseconds, nanoseconds, whatever. So I had to make some adjustments based on some modulo, mathematics, whatever. It was frustrating, but anyway, it worked in the end. But all the time I was transcribing the solution to the emulator, I was fearing that it would desync. And transcribing enough was hard. Something I had to do by hand, and it took some hours. So
I just want to go back because I just want people like to realize one little movement thing here that I truly love. Here, you can see that it turns around, and you will see the prince look up before jumping. Maybe I stopped it a bit too early. Here, see, like he looked up. When he looks up, actually, like he's getting closer to the ledge, so closer to the right, so that he can make that jump. So it's, see, and now he's looking forward again. Like that kind of small movement is also like really cool, I think, like in the game. Like if he jumped directly, if he did like a standing jump directly to the right, he would have fell and died. Because he would have been too far. Like just the pixel that it moved forward to the right allows you for that kind of stuff.
exactly. But these are the things that the runners themselves figured out.
Yes.
This is not the bot. The bot just refound it, basically.
Yes, exactly.
But-
Which is good.
Yeah, it verifies that the runners are smart people. I guess.
I guess.
Here we use the guard to skip through the non-existing gate. We take damage because of the fastest way to go down, and then exit the level. So level 10, of course, has all of these nice skips that the runner already knew from before. But here, the thing to look up the most is the penultimate guard. The bot found year after year or month after month, I kept finding new frames saved by manipulating the RNG. And this next fight that is coming now is the most attacked part of the game by far from my work on this transistor speedrun with my bot. I swear I spent weeks with this, weeks of the computer running full throttle and with super deep databases. So for this fight alone, I could have spent 2 or 3 days just simulating these few frames. And the most I run it, the most frame I want. So basically here we want to use him, push him towards the door, use him to push us through the door, and this is the fastest way you can do it, which is extremely fast. It's crazy fast. And this card is just easy peasy, and we're out to level 11. Here, level 11 is also a frustrating level because I tried many things, things that you will never know, to break, especially this part of the level. Basically, this is the normal solution, which is optimal and found by the speedrunners themselves, so there's nothing practically new, except a little bit, some details here about how to fall here. Save some time in this fall. But basically, there's a way to skip this gate, but not this other gate. And that's the tragic part, because if that other gate was open or remained open from the beginning, we could have found a skip. But there's no other skips here, so F. And this last fight, there's also a shame, because here you're going to see the kosher way to solve this card. This is the orthodox way to solve it. It's the fastest way, actually. But there's two more alternatives. You could bring the guard here in this room and have him activate the exit door for you. Actually, have a video on YouTube for that, if you want to see it later. But that's not the fastest way. And there's another solution which involves, if you go a little bit here, you could bring the guard here, push him through the wall on the right, and when you fall, you glitch the game so that you will be placed here, exactly in this position, but falling through the floor. So there's some kind of weird glitch that you come back, you basically zip back.
Oh you get pushed back, kind of, yeah. Like,
yeah,
zip is the term used, like, yeah. Zip is the term used, like, in all video games, mostly, like, about that. When you're stuck in between a collision, the game just pops you out.
Yes, he pops you out, and you teleport here, but falling, and you fall through the floor. If you didn't fall through the floor, we will be talking about a new skip here, but F, yes, not much success. In any case, we are still in sub 12 pace.
I know it's gonna be the most boring level.
Yes.
Okay, wake me up when it's over, please.
Well, some trivia. So, if you want to find the biggest fall for which you can die, this is the level, right? And this is relevant to something I'm going to show later if there's time. One question no one asked is, what's the longest fall you can survive? And that's not this in this level, right? This level you can fall very, very long, but you're going to die nevertheless. But there's another way another place where you can fall many screams and still survive, and that's what I'm going to show later if there's time. Since you didn't activate the counter, we don't know.
You have 10 minutes left, basically.
Nice. Okay, this is a skip, very well known. When you fall through the floor or the corner and you hang on something before 2 frames passed, the game thinks you're still on the previous screen, and you fall again through the bottom, and then you reappear on the screen on top, basically. That's more or less an explanation for it, but it's not a perfect explanation. No one knows exactly what's going on. It works. That's all that matters. Here, anticlimactic end, because GMP and I, more like GMP theorized it and I showed, or the other way around, I don't remember. You can kill these Jafars, so the end boss, with a single hit, but this is the fastest way. This is faster. So I had to sacrifice time in the altar of speed because there's no many frames to work with, and that was time, because now this is the last level, and we don't spend more in-game time here. So at this point I knew I achieved my goal, and I achieved the dream of reaching sub 12. I could see memory. Thanks. Thanks everyone. I knew I could see it in the memory that I had more than 12 minutes left in the game, so I knew here in the score screen I would see the ever so desired 48 score that no one ever saw before without cheats. So I was the first human being to beat this game in under 12 minutes with tools and see the screen without any. So there you go. Let's advance frame by frame because we have to savor the moment. No, I ruined it.
It's okay. So you went too far.
So this goes too fast. When I was doing it,
I like it.
when I was doing it in the emulator, it took me minutes to write this, or like, I don't know, more than 1 minute, and I thought, okay, this is too long. But then when you re-emulate it goes so fast. So I was underestimated the power of frames. So yeah, first person 48 in 3 frames that you don't see, but that's a success. So that's it for the Soft 12. I do have some extra material.
Yeah, go ahead. Like show a couple of more videos. You can kill VLC here.
So
So right click on it. Don't forget. If you want to pause, open with.
okay, so good. Level 4, I told you a little bit about how this level has an alternative solution that breaks the lore of the game. Basically, the lore of the game is, let's say the phrase, it's a Jungian fight between your shadow and your true self, in that in your reflection you discover your evil side, which is necessary to defeat the evil boss, and then it's kind of a psychological thing. Well, we don't care about psychology here, so we're going to bring the guard with us, manipulate him, and then do a switcheroo, and then go with him to the leftmost side of the screen, so that we override the integer value of the position, so that we go from 0 to 254. Passing the guard to the other screen, we regain control here. The guard is gone, but he will appear on the other side because we teleport him. He's going to help us go through. First we push him through, right? Because walls don't exist. We go the other way. What we want to do is activate the exit door, allowing us to finish the game. And so we're going to have the guard push us in turn through the wall. And then there will be no shadow to be created, so we broke the lore of the game. For all the 2,000 people that asked this question in my YouTube channel, whether the shadow appears later, yes, it appears. The game doesn't care, basically. But in terms of lore, it's nice to see that you can actually beat the game without casting the shadow. There is what I told you about, a little bit trivia. So open with. So this is also a video in my
Double click.
on my YouTube channel. The thing here is that the question that no one asked is, how long can you fall without dying in this game? And the answer is what you're going to see here. The process is as follows. We have to bring this guard with us through the jumper. So he gets hurt, but doesn't matter. We have to go through the jumper with him, bring him to a specific position here. So the specific position is very important, because a pixel to the left or a pixel to the right will make this trick fail. So we push him to the left a little bit more. We go there. He stops exactly what we need him. And then I think we can skip this part, right? All this climbing.
Just in case people did not recognize, this is level 9. The colors are different because you're using a version that strips the color basically.
Yeah, so the explanation is, I'm using a tool here. This is not the game itself, but a tool I developed to try things, right? And to save on memory, I'm saving 1 byte, but not remembering the color of the guard. So you have to do what you have to do, right? Squeeze every byte. Because mind that we're running here with a database, meaning we're storing billions of different alternative save games in memory. So the more bytes we can save, the more better. So here is the fall point. So we first break the tile so that we can fall from here. We have to go backwards and set ourselves to the perfect position, which requires this little step before the end. Otherwise it fails, right? A little bit. Yeah. Then go backwards and then jump. And jump is important because when you jump, you increase your height by 2 or 3 pixels, which makes it the longest fall, right? We're going to, and then we fall through and we survive, basically. And that's the longest fall in the whole game that you can survive.
Yeah. If you want, we can watch one more video.
Yes. Okay. We have more stuff in decreasing order of interesting.
Yeah, no, I mean, I can cut here. Like it's just like if you have like one more stuff.
I have only one more, so
Yeah. Okay.
just because people are claiming for it. Just kidding. So you can hurt the skeleton. That's the title of this video. When you fight the skeleton and you use your sword, it seems like he will never die. And that's true because when you hurt the skeleton with the sword, there's an if statement somewhere in the code that says that doesn't compute. But any other source of damage, the skeleton will fail, right? So we're going to trigger the source of damage that is also normal to us, which is if we fall two levels, we take 1 damage. If you have a guard fall 2 levels, he will die, but not the skeleton. The skeleton is not a guard in that sense. The skeleton is like you and me, except without flesh and skin. So when he falls two levels, he's going to take 1 damage, and that triggers the hurt animation that it's like a non-crouch. But since that animation is not present in the skeleton sprites, he's going to disappear. But he's going to come back when he wakes up from that state. So you can see it takes a lot of manipulation because this is not the place where he has to fall. He has to survive this fall. So we dance a little bit, we fall, we trigger him falling as well through the floor. We go back to him, he pushes again, and then he takes damage. So now he has 2 HP, and then he reappears, and then, okay, you can kill him or do whatever you want after that, but if you end up killing the skeleton, which is also possible, the game will crash because there's some animation or sound that wants to be played that doesn't exist, and the game is playing some binary in terms of sound, and it's going to crash. Okay, that's all the material I had.
Okay.
Thank you all for the attention.
Thank you, Ian.
Thank you.